What we're going to do this afternoon is have a look at how you do remote monitoring and control of a generalized irrigation system using the Glance Rattler system and the Rattler 3i field device. And so what we have is a test setup here of a typical irrigation system, and we've got an electric motor, which is the pump. We've got a VFD controlling the motor, which is sets the speed of the motor as well as to turn the motor on and off. We've got a Circumec meter, which measures the current and the other characteristics. For this instance, we're just monitoring the system amperage from the Circumec meter. We've got a last gasp battery and power supply, which keeps the whole system up and running. So when you have a power failure in the field, this battery keeps the Rattler running and reports and alarms that there's been a power failure in the field. And the system can accommodate several pressure transducers, in this case the suction and discharge pressure. And what it does is it shows that these are 420 milliamp injectors, which will be how the pressure transducers actually work. So what we're able to do is we're able to log on to the Rattler user interface. And I have a computer over here with a browser, or your phone with a browser. You can see it sees my Face ID and logs on. And you log on to the system. And we can look at the list of devices. You can search for the business or the device in the search box. This is the device here that's at the IATL. And so what that does is that shows this device last checked in 5 minutes and 47 seconds ago. And you see all the parameters, the current power supply, and the current amperage is 0 because the motor, as you see, is off. The VFD status is showing stopped, and the VFD command is currently off. You can click this blue button over here, and that changes to pending, which shows that it's sending down the command to change the state of the VFD from off to on. And what that does over here, it turns the motor on, as you can see, and this is the current that's being drawn by the motor, shown on the Circumec meter. And now I happen to be sitting next to this motor. I could be 1,000 miles away. And you can see that the VFD now shows that the status is on and that it's running. You can also see that the Circumec meter is showing 3.8 amps. And here on the Glance user interface, it's also showing 3.8 amps. This is updated anyway, so you can see that we can log on here on the computer. And in the same way, we can have a look at this device, showing the same information on multiple user interfaces. This shows that currently the motor is on, this VFD shows it's running, and that the speed is running at 60 hertz, which you see on the VFD. I can change the VFD speed to, let's say, run it at 10 hertz. You click the button, it shows that the command is pending as this is sent down to the field. As it works its way through the process, the VFD changes to 10 hertz, the motor changes to 10 hertz, the current at 10 hertz settles at 1.7 amps. For example, I can now look at my phone, refresh the browser, and this now shows that the VFD speed is at 10 hertz and the current is at 1.7 amps. You can see that the suction pressures and discharge pressures are at 334 and 337 psi respectively. Those are scaled from a 4 to 20 milliamp injector, but let's say the discharge pressure suddenly dropped off substantially, which I can do over here. and lower the value, and give it a couple of seconds to load up into the cloud, into the system, and I can do a reload and see what the current values are. And you can see that the discharge pressure is now at 213 psi from 300 and some that it was before. And you can set thresholds and alarm at all of these values. So this is how you can control when the motor's on and it's not running correctly. We can, in fact, do a little change here to change the VFD speed to 11 hertz, and you can control it by individual things. And we'll give it a minute or so and see that it loads down into the device. Which it's now done, and you can see that the motor is now running at 11 hertz. And if I refreshed the system, it just takes a second or two for it to run back up to the cloud. You can see on my phone it's showing now that it's running at 11 hertz, and if I looked at the computer, this is also showing at 11 hertz. And so what this shows is how effective and how easy it is to do remote monitoring and control of an irrigation system, controlling the speed of the VFD as well as the whether it's on or off, and also to be able to measure the pressures in the pipes and the flows and so forth. And this is how you do remote monitoring control of anything from anywhere.